There's this one massive question that science just can't seem to crack. And to look for an answer today, we're not going to some high-tech physics lab. Nope. We're going back about 2,500 years to an ancient framework that claims to have the source code for reality itself.
Okay, let's just get right to it. I want you to really think about this for a second. Not in a philosophical way, but in a purely physical one. What actually happens to the energy that is powering you right this very moment when your body stops working?
To even start to get our heads around that, we've got to begin with a fundamental, unbreakable rule of our universe. A law that governs absolutely everything, from exploding stars to the device you're watching this on. Yep, this is the big one. Physics 101. You might remember it from school. You can't just create energy out of thin air, and you definitely can't make it disappear into nothing. It just changes form. It might go from chemical energy to light energy, but the total amount is always the same. This is not up for debate. So here's where it gets interesting. Your brain, your heart, your entire body, it's all running on incredibly complex bioelectrical energy. Science knows this, no problem. But here is the massive mystery that physics hasn't solved yet. When the body dies, where does all that energy go? According to its own most fundamental law, it can't just poof, vanish. It has to go somewhere. Science just doesn't know where. So science hits a wall. But what if the answer has been sitting there waiting for us this whole time? Let's switch gears and look at a system of thought from 2,500 years ago that says, hey, this isn't a mystery at all. It's a predictable, understandable process of energy transfer. In the Buddhist Abhidhamma, life isn't seen as a solid, static thing. There's no fixed you. Instead, it's described as this continuous, unbroken stream of mind moments, kind of like the frames of a movie. Each moment pops up, vanishes, and in that vanishing, it gives rise to the very next one. This constant flow is called the Chitta Parampara Vak. It's a process, not a person. And this analogy just illustrates it perfectly. Think of your physical body as a radio that's tuned into a very specific broadcast, your unique stream of consciousness. Now, if you smash the radio, does the broadcast signal just cease to exist? No way. The radio wave, the energy, is still moving through the air, instantly looking for the next available receiver that's on its same frequency. Okay, I know, this is the part that can really bend your mind. If there's no permanent soul, no little me that packs its bags and travels from one life to the next, then who or what is actually getting reborn? Get this. The process is described as being instantaneous. There's no gap, no waiting room. The final thought moment of this life, called the Chuti Siddha, just ceases. And in that exact nanosecond, the very first thought moment of the next life, the Padisandhi springs into existence, directly caused by the energy of the one that just ended. It's a perfect, seamless handoff. And if that last bit felt a little technical, think about this beautiful analogy. You take one candle to light another. Now, is the flame on the new candle the exact same flame as the old one? No, of course not. It's a brand new flame. But could it have come into being without the first one? Also no. The energy, the heat, was transferred to start a new, separate process. That's rebirth. So let's be absolutely crystal clear on this, because it's the most important part. There is no person, no soul, no fixed self that travels. What continues is simply a conditioned stream of karmic energy. It's a set of tendencies, habits, and imprints that acts as the cause for the next effect, which is the next life. Okay, so if it's just energy, what directs it? Where does it go? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Your mental state in that final moment acts like a tuning fork, and that state is heavily shaped by your habits over a lifetime. If the mind is vibrating with things like fear or anger, its energy is going to resonate with a lower state of existence. But if it's vibrating with calmness, with clarity, it resonates with a higher plane, or it can even break the cycle completely. And that brings us to the most profound question of all. If this is all just a natural process of energy transfer, how is it possible to actually stop it? How do you get off the ride and achieve what Buddhists call Nirvana? Right? This feels like the ultimate paradox. We started this whole conversation with the unbreakable law that energy cannot be destroyed. So how can the process of rebirth ever end? It seems like it totally violates that fundamental law of physics we began with. And here is the absolute genius of the solution. The energy for the next life doesn't just exist. It is being actively produced, moment by moment, by a mental generator. That generator is called tanha, which means craving, clinging, attachment. It's that constant feeling of wanting, grasping, needing. That's what's generating the fuel for the next life.
The Buddha used this perfect analogy. Imagine a fire is burning. If you simply stop throwing wood on it, what happens? Does the fire go north, south? The question doesn't even make sense. The fire doesn't go anywhere. You've just removed the conditions for its existence. So the process of burning just stops.
And that's the key. That's the solution to the paradox. Nibbana doesn't violate the law of conservation of energy because it's not about destroying anything. It's about switching off the generator. By eliminating that craving, that tanha, through wisdom, you stop producing the fuel. The process just comes to a peaceful, natural end.
So what this entire framework suggests is that maybe our greatest fear is based on a huge misunderstanding. Death isn't a dark abyss you fall into. It's not the end. It's simply a transition, as natural and as mundane as taking off an old set of clothes and putting on a new one. And that's the final thought I really want to leave you with. What if you aren't a noun, a static thing that's doomed to end? What if you're a verb, a dynamic, continuous process of energy in the universe, a process that holds within itself the incredible power to understand its own nature and find a final, unshakable peace? If that were true, what would you do differently?